Second half last week, the Raiders had 491 yards of offense, but they allowed 406 to Baltimore. We are underway. Carlson with a short kick. McLeod from the 4 to get things started for the Steelers. Works the sideline and hit as he crossed that 30-yard line. Mullen on special teams makes the play for Las Vegas. Ben Roethlisberger. He has 3 touchdowns away from 400 for his career. And Charles, let's take it all the way back. On this date, 17 years ago, he threw his first career touchdown pass in the NFL.
To a pretty good player, too.
Antoine Randall,
who figured prominently in a Super Bowl win that they had together.
Steelers open up 1st and 10 at the 32. Freiermuth getting the nod at tight end. Shotgun, they're going to throw it on 1st down. Roethlisberger complete. Makes the connection with Juju Smith-Schuster. He had 4 catches for 52 yards last week. They pick up 5. So the offensive line, what did you make of their performance in week 1?
I thought it got better as the game went on. Naturally, a few shaky moments in the first half. Remember, they punted on all 5 possessions in the first half. Second half, they started to get things going. I thought Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, got them on the move a little bit so they could get out and run and hit people, and they picked things up as the game went on.
They ran 24 less plays than Buffalo, outgained by 119 yards. Najee Harris gets the touch, and it comes up short of the 1st down to the 40, brought down by Jonathan Hankins for this Las Vegas D. Up front, this group has a chance to be pretty special with Crosby and Ngakoue on the edges. Linebackers, KJ Wright comes over from Seattle, very comfortable in the Gus Bradley system. And in the secondary, a mix, a lot of youth, but you've got that veteran presence in Casey Hayward Jr. Ebron in there on a 3rd and 2. Looking to convert. Protection holds up, and a dart to Juju Smith-Schuster for a 1st down. That's 5 yards through the air. Abram the tackle, and Pittsburgh will move the chains.
And there's no way to overestimate the connection between Ben Roethlisberger and Juju Smith-Schuster. 3rd down, he loves to find him because Smith-Schuster has enough size to work the inside part of the field and enough quickness and agility to get away from people on the outside. He's a great target for Ben Roethlisberger. They have an excellent connection.
17 straight games with at least 1 touchdown through the air for Roethlisberger. That's the longest active streak in the league. Najee Harris has nowhere to go. Wrapped up immediately as the Raiders swarmed the ball, and that felt similar to last week where Harris just couldn't find open running lanes. Mike Tomlin has that connection with John Gruden. In fact, was an assistant under Gruden for 4 years in Tampa Bay. Super Bowl year originally was under Tony Dungy.
Hey, split, 42.
Nate Hobbs is in there as the nickel. And it's 2nd and 11 for Pittsburgh.
Blue 20. Blue 20.
Schuster had a playoff. Now he's back in there. Roethlisberger looks for him. Stiff arm, could not break away. Open field tackle made by Hobbs. Limited to a gain of 2.
The rookie out of Illinois, a 5th-round pick, won this job as the nickel cornerback in preseason, in camp, because of plays like this. Open field, a powerful runner in Juju Smith-Schuster, as well as shifty. And Nate Hobbs, technique, absolutely terrific, gets him on the ground.
John Gruden expecting a battle here. He's someone that appreciates the Raiders-Steelers history. Mike Tomlin said, hey, I appreciate it, but you have to be of a certain age to really get it.
It's hard to sell it in your locker room with these younger kids.
Roethlisberger, pump fake, 3rd and 9, fires off the hands. The intended target out on the far side was Ebron. It would have been enough for a 1st down.
An incompletion that was absolutely vintage Ben Roethlisberger. You said it at the top, Ian. He needs 3 touchdown passes for 400 here in his 18th year. Does this look like his early years when Big Ben was shrugging people off? You couldn't get him on the deck and keeps a play alive and almost completes it downfield.
Presley Harvin was a busy man in his NFL debut last week. Hunter Renfrow, fair catch called for, and the Raiders will have it at the 16-yard line, a 37-yard kick. Playoff game with that crowd in Las Vegas. He had his family staying over. They had some fun, and then the next day he got locked in on the next call. Even that night before he went to bed, he was thinking about Pittsburgh. Carr on first down, trying to squeeze it in there, and it's incomplete. Moreau, the intended target. Kenyon Drake in there to start the game. As we check out the Raiders starters up front, no Incognito, out again with a calf injury. Denzel Good placed on IR with a knee injury. So Simpson and Illuminor getting opportunities up front. They'll go empty here on 2nd and 10. Steelers' 12th straight opening drive with no points. Longest streak in the NFL currently. The pass to Carrier. And the veteran tight end rolls across the 25-yard line. 9 or 10, depending on the spot. Defensively, this unit should be amongst the best in the NFL. Hayward was a man possessed last week. So was T.J. Watt in that victory over Buffalo. But injuries, Joe Hayden out. James Pierre will see more time alongside Cameron Sutton. 3rd down and 1. Carr gets down low and chugs ahead for the first down.
To kind of push this offensive line gets, you've detailed how they have different people in there than they might have expected. But right in the middle, Andre James, a converted offensive tackle, now playing center. Good push on that play to give Derek Carr enough space to get the first down.
Carr mentioned something about James and his snapping. Fill us in on that after this play. First down for Las Vegas. Peyton Barber is in there. No Josh Jacobs today. Barber gets the carry, breaks a tackle, and falls forward across the 30-yard line. What's the difference between Hudson and James in the snapping technique that Derek Carr is dealing with?
Well, when he's underneath center, absolutely nothing. It's a normal snapping technique as we have a Steeler down that they'll be examining.
It is Alu that they're checking out.
Hopefully he'll be okay quickly, but it's when they go into shotgun and you're snapping it back. Most centers snap it with some spin. Andre James snaps it flat. It's a dead ball, and it's easier to handle for Derek Carr.
We'll come back in a moment. Had to be helped off the field. Appears to be a right leg issue. He is now in the pop-up tent. Nickel package here for Pittsburgh with Trey Norwood, who had a terrific NFL debut last week. A rookie out of Oklahoma. Kenyon Drake lines up as a receiver, shotgun for Carr. 2nd down and 6. Pulls the trigger underneath. Reliable target. Hunter Renfrow short of a first down. They pick up 3 yards through the air.
So Alu 94 in the middle. And he gets caught right there. I think the leg got caught by his teammate as he made the tackle. He was going one direction, teammate rolling back against him. Caused the torque against his leg.
Injuries piling up. Dime package here for Pittsburgh. Justin Lane is the extra defensive back. This is a 3rd and 3 for Las Vegas. Steelers weren't fooled on the inside give to Drake. T.J. Watt, who played a lot of middle linebacker last week for Pittsburgh, in on that stop.
He certainly did, and this is why he's all pro. It's not just the pass rushing, which is significant. He plays the run as well. See, a lot of pass rushers, they get so used to just running upfield, they don't see the play in front of them. T.J. Watt able to see the handoff inside, redirects, and makes the play.
And no Devin Bush today. Injury suffered late in the week. So Robert Spillane getting the nod. We'll see a rotation there as well. Punt from A.J. Cole. Ray McLeod is deep. Fields it at the 10. Has some room. McLeod up the field. And he crosses the 25. That's where Pittsburgh will get it on forward progress. 55-yard punt. 16-yard return, and a flag just came down. So play was over. It had been whistled dead.
Wonder if it's a little bit at the end of it where they had a few words at the end. Jonathan Abram, Ray McLeod. Abram with a nice play, and McLeod not real happy that Abram really didn't let him go. Through the echo of the whistle, Ian. And that whistle was going, and Abram wasn't letting him go.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct. Pittsburgh, number 14. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Pittsburgh.
Give Abram credit. He's got him wrapped up. He's staying with it, doesn't slam him to the ground, and that's where the penalty came in. McLeod taking offense because he couldn't get away from Abram, who made a nice play on the punt coverage.
So back it up for the Steelers. Ray McLeod had a solid return, 16 yards, but the line of scrimmage is now going to be the 8 after the reaction from McLeod. 8:15 to go in this opening quarter.
So you're saying Ray taketh and then Ray giveth back?
He definitely gaveth.
52.
Or in this case, Ray
Hey,
giveth. Giveth.
Blue
Double.
20. Blue 20.
Najee Harris by himself in the backfield. Fake the handoff. Roethlisberger. Rainbow. Broken up. Hayward ranges over to make the play on Claypool.
And we mentioned the veteran presence that Hayward brings, but also remember, this is a guy who led the NFL in interceptions once in his career. All right, you go back a year, he made second team All-Pro. And look at him making another play there with Claypool. They've got some excellent ball hawks now circling the secondary. The rookie out of TCU, Trayvon Merrick. You add in Casey Hayward, who's another one of what we call a ball magnet, always around the football, always making plays. A few more guys now who can go after the football.
And guys that were part of Gus Bradley's system in different spots. They give to Harris. Najee Harris has some room. Hit from behind as he crosses the 20. A good block up front from Kevin Dotson. Springs Harris for 13.
And this would be a confidence builder for these guys up front. All they've heard about is the lack of being able to run the football. Dotson, 69, comes around. Freiermuth, 88, comes around from the tight end position. And Harris reads it perfectly and gets right up into the secondary for a nice gain.
Hey, got me.
Last in the NFL in rushing last season. Pittsburgh, Gus Bradley expecting this defense to be improved from last year's numbers that the Raiders have with a different coaching staff on that side of the ball. Shake and bake doesn't work for Najee Harris. KJ Wright, one of those Gus Bradley guys going back to their Seattle days, makes the stop. Alu is being carted off.
And another guy that the Raiders are counting on to make plays for them came over from San Francisco, number 92, Solomon Thomas. He doesn't get credit for the tackle there, but he should get credit for starting and initiating that play that was made by KJ Wright. Got into the backfield and blew things up quickly.
And throw Denzel Perriman into that mix as well. He played for Bradley in Los Angeles last season. Acquired in a deal during the offseason, former second-round pick from Miami.
Yeah, they were able to come over late in camp and adapt very quickly because they already knew the system.
Second down and 12. Roethlisberger, pump. Toss to the outside. Stiff arm from Chase Claypool, and the Raiders got over there in a hurry, led by Hayward and a combination with Hobbs. 2-yard pickup through the air. Home team has won each of the last 5 games in this series. This is the 30th all-time meeting. Raiders lead the mark at 16 and 13, having won 3 of the last 4 against Mike Tomlin's team. Dime package here for Las Vegas. 3rd and 10 for Pittsburgh.
52.
Max Crosby, their best pass rusher over here.
Blue 20.
Crosby had a couple of sacks last week against Lamar Jackson. 3rd and 10. Roethlisberger forced out. Heaves it downfield, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Mullen. And he's still running. Mullen into Pittsburgh territory and out of bounds. Roethlisberger trying to make it happen. Pressure from Ngakoue and Crosby. That's going to be a 1-2 punch for the Raiders all season.
And what they have to tell Deontay Johnson, and I know they'll tell him on the sideline, you've got to play through the contact on the sideline from Trayvon Mullen, because he gave up on the play thinking there should be a flag. There's the pressure. Good job by Ben Roethlisberger stepping away from it initially and making the throw. He expected Deontay Johnson to keep running down the sideline and at least make a play on the football. He gave up on the route that allowed Mullen to make the interception.
Trayvon Mullen rocks the baby to sleep. Ben Roethlisberger flexing his right hand a bit as he took a shot from Max Crosby. And the Raiders are in business inside the 40.
Darren Waller has not gotten involved just yet with the Raiders. I expect that to change on this drive, number 83 in white.
Shotgun. Carr lets it fly. Catch made by Drake. Out on the perimeter, Drake scampers out of bounds as he crosses the 30-yard line. That's good for 11 on the catch and run.
I know it's early, only the second drive for the Raiders, but without Josh Jacobs, their physical running back, I'm sensing just a little bit of a shift in John Gruden and play calling and what he's thinking right now. He's going to use Peyton Barber enough to keep him honest, but I think he's going to try and spread these Steelers out and go with that short passing game and try and get some quick hitters to his receivers.
They will stack receivers off to the right of Carr. Fake the handoff. Rush coming. Carr is engulfed, and he coughs it up. A fumble on the strip by Watt. And now they're going to have to peel off the pile. Steelers claim they've got it. Watt is doing a sack dance out front.
The wheel on the field is a fumble recovered by the offense.
Raiders have it.
Second down.
John Simpson came out of the pack with the football.
Just the constant going at the quarterback by Watt. Reaches once, doesn't quite get him. Carr tries to shake him off twice. Third time, pops it free, and then the scramble begins. And John Simpson, one of the strongest players in that offensive line for the Raiders, comes up with the football.
That is 35 sacks for T.J. Watt in his 33rd home game here at Heinz Field. Under 5 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Big recovery. But Carr's got to try to do it again. That operation did not work. Carr upset as he lost it. And the Raiders in the process lose 3 yards.
And we talked about this quarterback-center exchange early, but it wasn't this that I was discussing. It was more shotgun. In this case, just seemed that the ball just, for whatever reason, Carr wasn't able to take it away from the center. The ball got up there to his hands, just wasn't able to possess it.
Rodney Hudson was traded to Arizona. Andre James, the third-year pro, has stepped in. And flags fly. Leatherwood on that right side.
False start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
So, young center. Young right tackle.
And T.J. Watt over the young right tackle on a critical third down snap. And Alex Leatherwood knows that he's there. He wants to make sure he's in position to try and block him. And he got out way too fast. I don't think there's any way that you can't say that T.J. Watt didn't influence that play a little bit.
So now they're staring at a 3rd and 19. If you're the Raiders right now, you're just looking for yardage to make it an easier field goal attempt. And that's exactly what they'll do with Kenyon Drake underneath. Nowhere close to first down yardage, but will put Daniel Carlson in a position for a makeable field goal. Joe Schobert, first man to grid him. They pick up 10 yards on the pass.
And that's a big acquisition in Joe Schobert. Don't worry about the yardage gain there. The acquisition is that now you're trading Joe Schobert for Vince Williams, who is a tremendous run defender, but not so much in pass coverage. Joe Schobert can do both.
22 straight made field goals for Daniel Carlson, looking at a 46-yard attempt. Snapper is Sieg, holder is Cole. Raiders trying to get on the board. 46-yarder is good. Daniel Carlson has been on a hot streak. So the turnover turns into points for the Las Vegas Raiders. The interception for Mullen, and then the boot from Carlson. 3-0 lead. Vegas. Ooh. TJ. Did you not have that on your notes?
Oh, my bad.
That changes everything, doesn't it?
It's on my notes, but this first time I've heard it out loud.
What's your middle name?
Franklin.
Charles Franklin Davis.
There you go.
I have no middle name. Ian Eagle. Ray McLeod on the return. We've seen this before from TJ.
Yes, we have, and he is a master at getting to the quarterback and knocking the ball free. 18 forced fumbles since 2017 until that last one, now 19. And then add in the strip sack. Last week in Buffalo, this week here in the early going in Pittsburgh, his 14th strip sack of his career. I mean, look at this, the most since 2017. That's when T.J. Watt came into the league. Look at the names up there. We'll see Yannick Ngakoue for the Raiders as well on the other side of the ball.
Steelers take over. They limited the damage after the turnover. Roethlisberger to throw it. Sidearm pass. Najee Harris. Oh, big time move. Harris with a stiff arm and the toss. on Jonathan Abram.
And
Harris is physical. He's got great balance, and he's got that in his arsenal.
And you know the old saw about going to the playground, and if you take out the bully, that takes in. Jonathan Abram considered himself a bully as a tackler, and he's a fierce tackler. That was a big-time play by Najee Harris. Look for Jonathan Abram to try and even up the score as this game goes on. He will not back down.
And Najee Harris grew up a Raider fan, so there were some other emotions in there as well. Catch and run. Deontay Johnson has got excellent quickness, and a flag is thrown on the play. Good enough for a first down, 9 yards. Is it coming back?
Juju Smith-Schuster was out in front, laying a nice block. Don't know if he got any cloth.
Offense, number 19.
It is.
10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
NFL Today update. Let's send it to New York. JB and Bill Cowher.
Boomer said he was not upset about Buffalo, not concerned.
Yeah, Josh Allen do what Josh Allen does best. This is not the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Okay, get outside. Improvisation is his master. Stephon Diggs, 5 yards out. The Buffalo Bills 14, Miami Dolphins nothing.
Hey, I can't imagine Iron Eagle will be upset or concerned about anything either. Back to Iron Eagle.
Hey, Lenny.
JB, I have no concerns.
Hey, 52,
Zero
52,
concerns.
the mic. Lenny.
In life, in general. 3-0 lead here for Las Vegas. That penalty backs the Steelers up. Roethlisberger, like a surgeon, finds the right man, Deontay Johnson, and another penalty marker is down on the play. So back-to-back throws to Deontay.
Illegal use of hands. Hands to the face. Defense, number 95. The result of the play is a first down. So this penalty is declined. First down.
Take a look inside.
Correction is number 90.
Yeah.
9-0.
I was wondering, they had it wrong. I was looking for Jonathan Hankins, the big defensive tackle inside. But if you noticed, Ian, last 2 throws went to, as you noted, Deontay Johnson. What had just happened previously? He'd given up on a route. Interception happened. Ben Roethlisberger coming right back to him. Make sure he keeps his confidence up, keep him in the game, let him know, I still love you. I need you to make some plays for me.
Had a brilliant touchdown catch last week in Orchard Park. Benny Snell gets the call. Corey Littleton, first man to greet him. And it's a 1-yard pickup for the Kentucky product, Snell.
That is the first play, I believe, for another runner for Pittsburgh here in this young season. Najee Harris took every snap in Buffalo last week. No other runner on the field.
Well, that turnover for Pittsburgh last season, first half of the year, during that win streak to open the season 11-0, their plus-minus on turnover differential was through the roof, positive. And then the numbers got evened out a little bit in the second half. They still finished +9 last season, third in the NFL, but they were +12 through the first 11 games. 2 tight end formation, and Najee Harris with the run. He's not going to go down. Picks up a gain of 1 with forward progress.
Jonathan Hankins got called for the penalty previously. He held up big time there. Pittsburgh trying to show a little ghost motion across the back with Chase Claypool at the same time the ball's being snapped, because everyone knows that Pittsburgh likes those jet sweeps and those reverse plays with Chase Claypool, trying to get the attention there. The Raiders weren't fooled and stuffed the play.
First half last week, Pittsburgh's offense was in a little bit of quicksand. 3rd and 8. Trying to do it with Smith-Schuster. Out in space. Juju has got a first down. The trust they have in these receivers to create after the catch.
He's 215 pounds and he uses it well. Look at him run through Denzel Perryman's attempted tackle. A second attempted tackle. Nice job by Smith-Schuster.
End of the first quarter. The Raiders and the Steelers in this city feel it walking around town. Last year, obviously with no fans in attendance, it was a different vibe entirely. Ben Roethlisberger said, hey, I'm going to be a little nervous. Right? You get that nervous energy. Roethlisberger steps up, creates space, but gets tripped up from behind. He crossed the 45. Solomon Thomas makes the play for Vegas.
And he deserves the credit for tripping up Ben Roethlisberger, but Ben Roethlisberger climbed the pocket and continued to search for receivers, which meant no one was open downfield. No place for him to go with the football, which allowed Solomon Thomas to stay with it and eventually trip him up.
And that will go down as a sack for this Las Vegas defense. No gain on the play.
That would be a confidence builder for Solomon Thomas, trying to get a second act going after San Francisco didn't go nearly to his draft status at number 3 overall.
Roethlisberger underneath. He's been getting rid of it very quickly as he hooks up with Juju Smith-Schuster on the short gain for 6. He got the ball out in 2.33 seconds in week 1. For those who like to follow those numbers, that was the second fastest in the NFL.
And last year, he led the NFL in that time frame, right somewhere around 2.30. One other thing that we're seeing from him today is the strength of Ben Roethlisberger. We've seen him shrug off tackles, but the other part is he's pulled back 3 attempted throws and double clutch and still made a throw downfield.
We get a timeout from Pittsburgh back in 30 seconds after this. It's a huge play early in the second quarter for Pittsburgh because they are in no man's land just inside the 40-yard line, facing a 3rd and 4. Najee Harris sets up next to Roethlisberger. Remember, Steelers did not score in the first half last week. Looking for it all. Deep shot. It is broken up. Claypool in a matchup with Hayward. And the veteran was on him like a glove.
The youngster did everything correctly by getting his body in front of Hayward, but look what the veteran did. Played right through his hands. He doesn't get flustered on the deep route, does Casey Hayward. He understands it. No panic. Wait for it. There's a play. Makes it. Because look, Claypool's got everything you want. Body in front, ball up there. But Hayward just waited for it to come down to his level and put his hands in there and knocked it away.
Hayward may be banged up.
Officials timeout for an injury.
So it looked like the Steelers were going to go for it on 4th down. They'd be looking at a 56-yard field goal attempt for Chris Boswell. And they're going to stretch out Hayward after he made that play on Chase Claypool.
This just gives Pittsburgh more time to talk about it and discuss it. Boswell hit, what, a 59-yarder in Dallas last year?
Yep.
Indoors on the turf.
That was
outdoors
his
on grass here.
Career long for Chris Boswell. This has never been known as a kicker stadium by any stretch.
I think they stay out there with offense on this one. And remember, you've got a rookie punter who shanked one last week in Buffalo. Don't want to put a lot of pressure on him on these short punts. Presley Harvin, he's known for letting that leg out and extending and booming it.
Yeah, Harvin averaged 48 yards per kick in 2020 for Georgia Tech. So Steelers are going for it on 4th and 4.
Security blanket has always been Juju Smith-Schuster, number 19, here inside.
Harris sets up in the slot. Roethlisberger flushed out, steps up, throws, nobody home. In the direction of Claypool, and Roethlisberger took a heavy hit.
I think it was from his buddy from the MAC conference, Max Crosby, Eastern Michigan. Crosby combined with Quentin Jefferson.
4th down, Steelers don't convert, and the Raiders take over. From the combination of Crosby and Jefferson.
We're good.
Now spending some time with quarterbacks coach Matt Sullivan along the Pittsburgh sideline. Handoff, Peyton Barber. So Barber played with Tampa Bay and Washington, working with this offensive line, and this is a new-look offensive line. Pittsburgh has gotten a lot of the headlines for all their changes from last season to this season. Raiders have made a bunch of changes as well. This was the final depth chart last year. And now with the injury to Denzel Good, he's out of the mix. Simpson in, Illuminor in. We've mentioned Andre James, and they drafted Leatherwood.
And John Gruden understands that injuries are going to be a part of this, and I'll finish after this play.
2nd down and 6 here for the Raiders. They handle the rush initially. Carr's going to tuck and run. Oh, free shot for Robert Spillane, and flags come down. Carr is upright as he popped up after the stamp.
Yeah, he's a lot tougher than he probably gets credit for.
So foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 56. 15-yard penalty adds it in the run. First down.
I'm trying to figure out where the penalty's coming from. Because if you're saying 56, he's making a nice tackle. He a runner downfield. The protection in the pocket is no longer there. And Boomer Esiason, you have to love that one. You wanted him to run in the pregame show. He took off and went there.
First down and 10 here for the Raiders with Barber in the backfield. 3 tight ends in this formation as the Raiders are now deeper in Pittsburgh territory inside the 40. Running play, nothing there. Barber gets stacked up. Rules analyst Gene Steratore watching this game along with us. Gene, what'd you see on the previous call?
It's a tough play for the defense, guys, because Derek Carr really doesn't give himself up in a traditional slide fashion. I don't believe it's 56, but Spillane comes in real hard, and if that's a leading with a helmet, he is in a launching type position. But Carr puts himself in a real predicament because he appears to be just moving forward and not giving himself up, but he does take a heck of a shot to the head and neck area by Spillane.
Yeah, thanks so much, Gene. Raiders have it at the 40-yard line after the loss of 2. Shotgun, Carr, catch and run. Hunter Renfrow slips around defenders, and he's got a first down. James Pierre got spun around like a top. 16 yards for Hunter Renfrow.
Remember, James Pierre is standing in for Joe Hayden, who had a groin injury, as Evan Washburn reported on Friday. And on that play, Hunter Renfrow with a nifty move after the catch to spin outside for additional yardage.
Now that was second down for Renfrow, not third down. He can do it on any down. A jump. And Alex Highsmith, overzealous. Matched up with Colton Miller.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 56. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Let's check in with Evan.
Well, and this is the area of the field the Steelers would love to have Tyson Alu, but he's out with that right ankle injury suffered in the first quarter. Important to remember, guys, they've been rotating a lot up front. Cam Hayward, for example, only about 66% of the snaps last week. Can't do that now, and it's hot down here.
And Evan, no Stephon Tuitt either. Keep that in mind. Still on IR with a knee injury. They hope to have him back. Little trickery, the speed of Ruggs, but he could not quite turn the corner. Henry Ruggs had a couple of catches last week, an important one in that victory over Baltimore on that touchdown drive. And just the young receivers in general, you touched on it at the top of the show, Charles. Derek Carr still getting comfortable with Ruggs and with Edwards and Zay Jones. The chemistry has been there with Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah, and he told them during preseason, I'm going to try things with you in practice and see what you can do. And if you create plays and show me that trust, I'll make some of those throws downfield for you as the games go on. And he's starting to develop that now. And, of course, they want Ruggs to touch it any way possible with his 4.27 speed.
Running play. Kenyon Drake didn't go down on first contact. Forward progress will mark him down inside the 15. Alabama running backs, there are just so many of them. Every year they're pumping out guys at that position that are playing immediately in the NFL. Drake formerly with Miami, with Arizona. He's stepping in for another Alabama running back, Josh Jacobs. There's one on the other side with Najee Harris. You got Damian Harris. You got Derrick Henry. You got Mark Ingram. Every year you got another one.
And they're also well-schooled in pass protection, just like you have to do in the NFL. So it's not just running the ball. They catch it out of the backfield and they protect their quarterbacks.
Tight formation, 3 tight ends. Carr, 3rd and 2. Flicks it to the outside, and it's incomplete. Sliding attempt by Waller.
And that was the first target of Darren Waller in this ball game. How much of it is what John Gruden wants to do offensively? How much of it is Pittsburgh with what they're trying to do matching up with him? But trust me, they're going to keep moving him around to different spots as this game goes on. And Mike Tomlin's defense, they'll try their best to adjust and make sure they always have the right people in the vicinity of Waller running downfield.
And Tomlin told us we are giving him the Stephon Diggs treatment. We have to acknowledge how special a player he is. It's a 33-yard attempt for Carlson. Daniel Carlson splits the uprights. And the Raiders take a 6-0 lead. 9:34 to play. Second quarter. Back to Pittsburgh after this. 34 to play in this second quarter. Derek Carr, 5 of 7, 50 yards. We haven't seen any big explosion plays. Kickoff from Carlson. And this one will sail through the back of the end zone. Touchback. On Monday, the Steelers, along with the Catholic Youth Association of Pittsburgh, held the annual Art Rooney Awards Dinner, an event that usually honors Pittsburgh champions in the corporate, sports, or media world. Well, this year they instead honored 50 local frontline workers, from nurses to teachers to grocery store workers and more. Each were presented with the Art Rooney Award as a 2021 Pittsburgh Frontline Hero.
All right, congratulations. That's fantastic stuff, honoring those people, trying to help the rest of us out. Let's see if Pittsburgh can get going here on offense.
Roethlisberger is 9 of 14 for 63 yards and a pick. Fake the pitch, throw on the move, and hits his man, Deontay Johnson. Trayvon Mullen Jr. in coverage, 13 yards on the pass play.
And this play call says that Matt Canada, the offensive coordinator, and Ben Roethlisberger, the quarterback, have supreme confidence that Deontay Johnson's going to win his one-on-one. Ben on the perimeter, puts it right on him.
Down the sideline, Najee Harris. So we're seeing more of the skill set that made him a first-round pick out of Alabama this year for Pittsburgh. That's 14 yards.
And look how the Steelers are picking up the tempo here. They get the first down to Deontay Johnson, come back with Najee Harris. Now they come with the reverse.
Hurdling, Claypool couldn't quite clear it. We know he's a specimen and a ridiculous athlete. But you can't always hurdle over NFL players.
Do you remember earlier in the game when Najee Harris threw Jonathan Abram off of him on that big run with the big stiff arm? I think Jonathan Abram wanted a little payback there. Heck of a play, coming in underneath the block and then tripping up Claypool.
James Washington now in there for Pittsburgh. Steelers on the move.
Lester.
Second down and 12 after the loss of 2. Gets rid of it quickly. And catch made by Juju Smith-Schuster. He's spun down immediately by Mullen. Back to New York, JB, Coach Cowher.
Dual threat Tyrod.
How about Tyrod Taylor going against his former team? 16 yards on this scramble. In passing on the days, 10 of 10, 125 yards and a touchdown. And Houston leads 14-7 over the Cleveland Browns.
And back to the triple threat, Ian Eagle.
Thank you, JB. Tyrod Taylor just has a knack.
And he's class personified.
He really is.
He's handled some very difficult situations with such grace.
3rd and 8. Roethlisberger uncorks it. Got the man! Deontay Johnson down the sideline, out of bounds, but a flag is down. Johnson got the step on Mullen. 41 yards.
So the flag might be for the contact downfield,
Illegal
but it should
contact. Defense number 27. This penalty is declined. The result of the play, first down.
So there's the deep shot and the cash in.
So go back to the interception that Ben Roethlisberger threw. And Deontay Johnson gave up on the play. Contact with Trayvon Mullen. Mullen gets the interception. Contact happens here. Deontay Johnson plays through it and creates a huge play downfield. One play, not what you're supposed to do. The next play, figures it out and gets it done.
Steelers in business here. 1st and goal from the 5.
42. Stop! Done.
Claypool's got a one-on-one to the top with his height. Might want to throw it up there and give him a chance.
Roethlisberger on a give. Harris trying to pick his way through, and KJ Wright got him down low to limit the rookie to a gain of 2. And Harris taking exception to Jonathan Abram lying on top of him.
That's twice people have taken exception to Jonathan Abram. I'm just going to let everyone know, you're going to take exception to Jonathan Abram a lot. He's going to be wrapped around a lot of ball carriers. That's his game, tackling people, being physical, and he's going to play all the way through.
Brings a linebacker mentality to that safety position now in his third year from Mississippi State.
And they've done a good job getting him out of coverage and much more into that type of play. And his play is he picked up.
Roethlisberger, give it. Juju Smith-Schuster takes it in. Touchdown. Some creativity. And the Steelers can take the lead with the extra point coming.
We're used to Chase Claypool being the guy in this type of motion, coming behind the line of scrimmage and getting the jet sweep. In this case, it's Juju Smith-Schuster, and he fools Max Crosby, number 98, just enough to get to the corner, turn it, and get into the end zone. And after the play, Ben Roethlisberger gave Najee Harris some love as well, liking what he did on that drive.
Extra point here for Chris Boswell. Steelers in front, 7-6. Thanks to a 7-play, 75-yard drive. It took 3 minutes and 9 seconds. Juju Smith-Schuster, his first career.
And by Papa John's. Big pizza, big difference. Order a Shaq-a-Roni now.
Ben Roethlisberger leads the Steelers down the field. Juju Smith-Schuster caps it off with his first career rushing touchdown. And Pittsburgh in front, 7-6. Boswell kicking off to Henry Ruggs, coming out to the 25-yard line. Well, for the Raiders, it was an emotional roller coaster on Monday night against the Ravens. Late in the fourth, Carlson, 55-yard field goal, sends the game to OT. Brian Edwards, big play, looks like it's going to be a touchdown, overturned. Then, a few plays later, Anthony Averett, interception, ensuing drive. Nassib forces the Lamar Jackson fumble, and then Carr to Zay Jones for the 31-yard winning score. Just win, baby, for the Raiders. Both teams were down 10 or more points. Both teams came back. Carr to throw it. Open man is Ruggs. Out of bounds, Fitzpatrick angles over to make the play on Henry Ruggs. That's Alabama against Alabama.
Yeah, they got used to doing that, didn't they? You know, go against their practice. It's described by many down there. Their practice sessions are like it's fourth and goal or 4th and 1 every day. Great intensity. I want to see if the Raiders, without Josh Jacobs, how much John Gruden wants to mix and match running it with Peyton Barber. Because the way the Steelers are lying on defense is really just 2 down linemen. Everyone else is a stand-up guy, almost daring you to try and attack them in the run, and so far haven't done that.
1 target to Waller, 19 last week. The throw, big hit, Renfro keeps on ticking. Hauls it in, secures it for 10 yards.
He took some big hits against Baltimore on Monday night. A few of them the Raiders sent into the league office saying, hey, take a look at this. Never a word from Hunter Renfro. Never saw anything from him, never heard anything. Just continues to play through. Shows his toughness one more time, taking the shot from Spillane and holding on to the football. He's telling his coach on the sideline, that's what I do.
Monday, set. Hey, bang arm. Bang arm.
Rocket bang, slam.
Here we go. Sales is it.
First down out near midfield for the Raiders. To handle the rush, Carr hits the open man, Foster Moreau. As Darren Waller continues to get a lot of attention, and rightfully so. The Raiders believe they've got a big-time tight end in the third-year pro from LSU.
Look where the ball is. Back shoulder, which tells you that Derek Carr has worked on this with Foster Moreau and has said to him, and has now said to himself, he can handle me turning him around, body control. And boy, did he come up with a big one, 25 yards on the play.
They go fullback in the backfield with Ingold, with Barber behind him. Carr looks downfield, flick of the wrist, broken up. Ingold, the intended receiver. And back there, Joe Schobert for Pittsburgh.
And this is one of the reasons why you go get a Joe Schobert. Is he going to get you 100-plus tackles a year? Absolutely. You know what else he's going to do? Help you in pass coverage. And Al Gingold had 4 catches last week. He's a good receiver out of the backfield. Schobert running with him breaks up what could have been a big play for the Raiders.
T.J. Watt does not have his helmet on. He's along the Pittsburgh sideline right now.
So Melvin Ingram, number 8, in for him at this time, and Alex Highsmith, 56, acting as a walk-around.
Ingram was very active last week. Carr steps up, throws on the move, and hits Brian Edwards on the play for a modest gain. They pick up 6 yards.
There's Watt working on Leatherwood, working inside, then coming back to the outside, and comes up a little gimpy after that one.
You know, we wondered last week how many plays Watt would be a part of. Would there be a pitch count? He had a large role defensively. They needed him.
He had a Mike Tomlin pitch count. When Mike wanted to pull him out, he did. Other than that, they let him go.
6 different receivers have caught a pass so far for the Raiders, and Waller has 0 receptions. 3rd down and 4. Carr gets rid of it. Great effort. 3rd, and Renfro turns into a 1st down for Las Vegas.
And the tackle happened right about at the marker. Now watch at the end of the tackle when he turns him, Renfro driving forward, and Lane takes him across. He gives him a little bit of an assist to pick up the 1st down. He had to get him on the ground, but Renfro's strength in getting upfield forced Lane to make that extra turn on him, and he actually gained additional yardage.
We asked Waller about the mental part of this game, what he's seeing week in and week out. He said, it's like a moving puzzle, the way defenses try to disguise things against me. You have to be patient. Peyton Barber gets stacked up. Cameron Hayward wreaking havoc. It's a loss of 2.
Remember, he had 12 quarterback pressures last week, the most in the NFL in Buffalo. And he plays the run just as effectively and creates rubble right there. But this is a big drive for the Raiders for this reason. They've come up empty in the touchdowns the last few possessions, kicked field goals. Darren Waller, 1 target so far today, 19 last week. Let's see where he is and see how he's defended.
He has recorded 4 straight 100-yard games. Watt continues to watch from the sideline.
We're good. Here we go.
2nd down and 12. Timeout. Play clock was running out. Derek Carr
Before the foul, timeout, Las Vegas.
takes the timeout and will be back in 30 seconds right after this.
I've seen this movie before.
You have?
Sure. This is the part where all is lost and the hero searches for hope. Then a mysterious figure reminds her that she has the Farmer's Home Policy Perk guaranteed replacement cost, and that her home will be rebuilt regardless of her limits or if the cost of materials has gone up.
That's really something.
Get a whole lot of something with Farmer's Policy Perks. Wait, I didn't ruin the ending, did I?
Yeah, you did.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Steelers had just taken the lead on a 75-yard drive. The Raiders have answered with a long drive of their own. Inside the 20, 2nd and 12. 2 timeouts remaining for Las Vegas. Playing without Josh Jacobs, Kenyon Drake in there. Carr will throw it to him, and Drake gets the step and the angle with Joe Schobert ranging over. It's a 3-yard pickup.
So no Josh Jacobs, so you don't have that guy running the football that's your bell cow, but you mix and match with Kenyon Drake catching it and Peyton Barber running it.
Into the Pro Football Hall of Fame over the last 2 years. This is a 3rd and 9 for the Raiders. 2 minutes to go, first half. Steelers lead at 7-6. Carr fires, and it's Darren Waller with his first grab. And it's very close to the 1st down. Joe Schobert with a tackle. Injury update with Evan.
Yeah, guys, bad news for the Steelers. T.J. Watt dealing with a groin injury. Officially returned as questionable. Does not have his helmet anywhere near him. Came off the field in some frustration. We'll keep you updated. But again, groin injury for T.J. Watt.
All right, Ev. Obviously, training camp wasn't a part of the equation for TJ. He was around just doing his individual workouts.
And he worked really hard. It wasn't that he just did nothing. He worked really hard. But there is truth to the fact that it's different playing the game speed versus what you do in that type of training. And here he is week 2. Week 1 got through it just fine. Week 2, unfortunately, a little ding.
All right, the measurement here.
Should be, I thought it was going to be a little bit short.
Las Vegas requested the measurement.
Yeah, it gives them a chance to decide on the play call as well, what they want to do here. And the way this game is going, having kicked 2 field goals, I wouldn't be surprised if John Gruden goes for it right here.
Yeah, it looks like that is going to be the call for Gruden, keeping the offense on the field on a 4th and 1.
But remember, he does not have Josh Jacobs as #1 power running back. They could show heavy formation here, like you're going to run it, and put the ball in the hands of Derek Carr with some type of a run-pass option.
Greg Olson in his 2nd stint calling the plays for the Raiders, his 20th year coaching in the NFL. Raiders defense has played well, so conventional wisdom might be, put the 3 points on the board and just continue in this slugfest. Or you do that with Derek Carr.
2nd time today, snuck for a 1st down.
Quarterback keeper, and it is enough to keep this drive alive.
Now, Boomer Esiason talked about he'd like to see Derek Carr take off and run a little bit more and create some running lanes when he gets caught in the backfield on pass plays. This is exactly what Boomer's talking about, but it's the 2nd 1st down he's picked up on the quarterback sneak today, and he did have 1 run earlier where he picked up a penalty against Pittsburgh for an illegal hit.
Motion man is Waller. Raiders looking to regain the lead. Carr on a give. Drake cuts it upfield and slides for 3 forward with Robert Spillane there defensively for Pittsburgh.
And this is the down, 2nd down, that if you're going to go play action, typically that's the best down here near the goal line. You can show your run formation, go play action, and throw it, because the defense, they don't totally load up against it on you. This is your opportunity.
They go 3 receivers. We're down to 25 seconds to play, 1st half. 2nd and goal for the Raiders. Steelers pointing that there was movement, and flags fly.
I think they got Colton Miller this time, the veteran left tackle.
False start. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty. Las Vegas has elected to take a timeout in lieu of the 10-second runoff. Charge timeout, number 2, Las Vegas.
Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report, JB, Phil, Nate, Boomer, Coach Cowher, NFL scores and highlights, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report.
No, Monday night in overtime, Alex Leatherwood jumped near the goal line, and then they threw an interception after that. Earlier today, Alex Leatherwood jumped. This time, though, they got the veteran, one of the better left tackles in the game, and Colton Miller, who's developed and gotten better and better every year. They got him on this last one.
He's become a staple on that left side for the Raiders.
Got Waller in a little one-on-one at the top.
2nd and goal. Carr, pump, throw, touchdown! A strike to Brian Edwards. But a flag down.
10-yard penalty, replay, 2nd down.
It's coming back.
Oh, and that play worked to perfection, too. They double-team Darren Waller. Brian Edwards works his way free, and they hit him. But instead, Alex Leatherwood, who had some issues in college with penalties, he'll be over here on the right side, right there. That's where he got Melvin Ingram. But didn't get enough of him because Ingram still continued to progress back towards his quarterback.
Charles, it wasn't that long ago. The Raiders were at the 2-yard line. They're now at the 18. Carr skies it. A looper, incomplete. He was hoping that Waller could win the one-on-one matchup. Did it? JB and the gang standing by. Verizon Halftime Report. All the scores and highlights around the NFL. Coming up, Verizon Halftime Report.
Did his arm get hit on that play?
Yeah, that ball came out funny.
It came off a little funny, didn't it? I thought that Cam Hayward was back there in the vicinity of him.
Third and goal. 12 seconds left. Fake the pitch. Toss it underneath. Edwards trying to create after the catch, and a flag down.
This coming back, too. Typically on that type of a play, that's going to go against the blocker trying to help out his receiver on the quick screen.
Ineligible player downfield. Offense, number 74. 5-yard penalty, replay, third down.
And now you just got to go kick it.
So Miller, 74, he's more than 1 yard downfield when that ball is thrown to Edwards. You've got to be within 1 yard of the line of scrimmage for that to be a legal play. He was already making tracks towards the guy he was trying to block, and they flagged him for it.
And Charles, that's 3 Raiders penalties in the red zone.
And forcing another field goal attempt. They may get this to be successful, Ian, and be up on the scoreboard, but this will feel like a very disappointing drive when you have first and goal at the 2.
Their third and final of the half. 30-second timeout.
All right, they use their final timeout here. And Carlson is just getting into his routine for this upcoming field goal attempt. Had the 55-yarder to send the game into overtime. I mean, I think John is not the third man in the broadcast booth, but it's as if he is.
I feel like he was right next to him.
Have you heard that before?
Yes.
You go way back with Mr. Cruden.
Yes. Yes, I have. And he's just loudly expressing his displeasure about the calls here that prevented his team from having an opportunity. And what I'd like to say to you, Mr. Down Judge, Mr. Frank LeBlanc, very simply is, I would like to speak with your referee, Mr. Jerome Boger, so that I could make my case. I don't want to talk with you. I want to talk with him.
This was I want to see the manager moment.
Yeah, this is absolutely. I'm sorry, we've worked with everyone else. We want to see the top.
41-yard attempt here for Daniel Carlson. Trent Sieg will snap it, and Cole will hold it. 41-yarder. He nails it. And the Raiders take the lead with 2 seconds left. 9-7 Las Vegas. Come back with the final moment of the second quarter after this. Competitive first half here in Pittsburgh with the Raiders leading it 9-7. 3 field goals for Daniel Carlson, who will now kick it off to Ray McCloud. McCloud will take it out of the end zone. And the Raiders bring him down. Final play of this first half. Las Vegas 1-0. Pittsburgh 1-0. Someone's going to be 2-0 at the end of this one this afternoon. Halftime is next after these first half highlights from Verizon and a word from your local station.
Back here for the Verizon halftime report coming up later today on CBS. A great doubleheader headlined by the Cowboys at the Chargers, Tennessee at the Seahawks, Dallas and the Chargers.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting match, Dallas at the Chargers. But I'll just say this about the Dallas Cowboys. It was all about Dak Prescott last week, quick passes. I think it'll turn around this week. It'll be about Ezekiel Elliott running the football, controlling the clock, and going against the smaller Chargers defense.
Tennessee, Seattle.
That's going to be interesting, too. You know, I think Tennessee is walking into a place that's going to be really tough to play. Seattle's defense, it looks much better.
And Hayden during the week, and then Alualu and Watt here today, Darren Waller. When we met with him yesterday, he said, look, I'm excited just to play at Heinz Field. I was here with the Baltimore Ravens. I know the atmosphere. I know how intense it's going to be. And we asked him, are you aware of your numbers? Like, do you have any idea? You've been targeted 19 times. He says, I have no idea. I do not pay attention to that during the game. He goes, I don't want it affecting the way that I perform. But I'm going to tell you this. I think he's pretty aware of the fact that he only has 1 catch so far.
Yeah, and it's interesting what Evans said in talking with John Gruden, the Raiders coach at halftime. What he's most worried about is not as much Waller, he said, but the rushing yardage, 21 yards. What I'm eager to see is how is he going to combat that without Josh Jacobs being the guy that you put the ball in his chest and you get 20 carries a game out of him. He's having to mix and match with Peyton Barber, who hasn't been a frontline runner since about 2016, 2017. And now you're talking about Kenyon Drake, who's much more of a receiving running back.
And Charles, keep an eye on the right side of the line because Brandon Parker is in instead of Alex Leatherwood. Carr over the middle, they feed it to Waller right away. Short of the first down. 9-yard pickup through the air.
And that'll be a story because Leatherwood, the rookie out of Alabama that they took in the first round, they're extremely high on. So barring injury, I'm surprised that he's off the field. Because that's the type of young man you plug in, you want him to be able to play and be your guy for a long time. So that's a story that bears watching.
Monday, set.
Carr is now 13 of 17, 128 yards. Ruggs the motion man. Handoff blown up. Peyton Barber crushed by Spillane.
And this is what he does so well. Robert Spillane, 41 in black. Look at him shoot the gap, and he's right there, one step after the handoff for Peyton Barber. In perfect hitting position. No way Barber's going to escape him and make him miss. Excellent tackle, excellent play in the hole by Robert Spillane, filling in today for Devin Bush out with a groin injury.
Spillane suffered a hip injury in pregame warm-ups last week, so he was inactive against Buffalo. Boy, if they ever needed him here this afternoon. 3rd and 4 for the Raiders. Carr on time. Willie Snead, the veteran. First down for 14 yards.
And that came within a step of turning into a big-time play. Look at him work inside. And right there, just enough. Was that Norwood, 21? Got just enough to allow him to slow him up. Willie Snead missed a pass in the end zone in overtime that could have won it. Turned into an interception, helping redeem himself there with that catch.
Hard-nosed, 8th year in the league. Carr deflected, incomplete. And it was Wormley who got a piece. Downstairs to Evan.
Well, guys, the update on Alex Leatherwood, oblique injury. He's out for this game. Important to acknowledge, second quarter, midpoint of that second quarter, he did receive some treatment in the injury tent. He did go back out there, was effective to end the first half, but he's out for the remainder of this game with that oblique injury.
Well, this depth is getting tested. Denzel Good, done for the season, incognito, not ready to go with that calf injury. They signed Lester Cotton off the practice squad, activated. On a give, Kenyon Drake looked like he had a head of steam, but as he veered, he was limited to a 2-yard pickup.
And let's go back to what you just talked about with the offensive line as we get ready for this big 3rd down play. John Gruden planned for some of this. No one wants anyone hurt. But all during training camp, he put Derek Carr out there with guys who were 1s, 2s, and 3s, mixing and matching so that he wouldn't flinch and wouldn't feel something crazy when he didn't have his frontline guys out there. He's used to seeing different people in front of him.
This is a 3rd and 9 for the Raiders. First possession of the second half. Carr, deep drop. Out of the pocket. Looking downfield. Tosses to the sideline. And Darren Waller, the intended receiver, incomplete. Or make that Drake along the perimeter.
And I go back to pregame. Boomer Esiason saying, hey, when you get a chance to go sometimes, you should go Derek Carr. Watch him get out of here. And here's a chance. Freeze it right there. Look at what he's got in terms of an angle in a lane, potentially putting pressure on the defense. Decides to hold up, still wants to throw the football. Incomplete. They'll punt this one away.
So it'll be A.J. Cole punting to Ray McLeod. McLeod waiting for it at the 10. Cole trying to place this one. Fair catch. And he secures it at the 12, a 41-yard kick. Ben Roethlisberger will go to work. His team trails 9-7. Early T.J. Watt is officially out. Groin injury suffered in the second quarter.
Hey, split! Hey, sit the toes the mic! Winnie.
Apparently 52 is the mic. And it's 1st and 10 for Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger. Deep shot. Claypool, the intended target, matched up with Mullen. Let's go back to that second quarter injury for T.J. Watt.
Working on Alex Leatherwood, and I think on the pass rush, something just gave on him as he was trying to plant and change directions. Hopefully this will not take him long to get rehabbed and back out on the field for Pittsburgh.
Steelers will be home for Cincinnati next week. Raiders will be home for Miami. 2-point lead for Las Vegas, 12:09 to go in the 3rd. 2nd and 10. Swing pass, Deontay Johnson. Out of bounds, Chase Given. Had a number of Raiders defenders in that area stacked up. Merrick got a hand on him from behind.
What the Raiders have done well throughout this ball game is that Pittsburgh has not gashed them big in the run game. And they've kept everything in front of them in the passing game. Nothing's really been over their head. When there have been plays deep, they've had guys there to make plays like Casey Hayward, like Trayvon Mullen. They're really playing what we call top-down defense. Everything in front. They're hoping Pittsburgh makes the mistake and they capitalize on it.
Roethlisberger talked about his first few years in the league. He knew the defense would keep them in games. Just don't make a mistake. Roethlisberger, connection made. Freiermuth looking like Heath Miller. 14 yards on the pass play.
His first official game as a Steeler, and they're already giving him the move chant. And you've been around this game a long time. How long does it usually take a crowd to give you your own chant? One game in.
Do fans get together ahead of time and talk that through? Give to Najee Harris, another rookie. Max Crosby there defensively. This is a young group of skill position players. In fact, if you look at the running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends, this is the youngest group in the NFL, the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2nd and 9. Roethlisberger, he was looking long, nothing there, and he's sacked at the 29-yard line. Raiders continue to get pressure. Jonathan Hankins working his way inside for Las Vegas.
He wanted James Washington down the sideline on the deep shot. Washington doesn't get himself free, so Ben pulls it down, and they just keep working up front. Hankins.
And then Solomon Thomas.
Solomon Thomas is the one who actually got him down. Pressure initially, and then Solomon Thomas is the one that brings him down.
That's number 2 for Thomas. You mentioned his journey here as a 3rd overall pick in 2017 out of Stanford. And a new chapter for Thomas from San Francisco to Las Vegas. 3rd and 12. Soft toss. Catch made underneath. Trying to cut it back, Deontay Johnson. And nowhere near first down yardage. Denzel Perriman will get credit for the tackle. That's 3 yards, and Big Ben shaking his head as he heads to the Pittsburgh sideline.
You've got a long way to go in this game, obviously. But if you're a Raiders fan, you can take what you saw in 2020 on defense and let it go. This is a new defense. It's a new group, not just guys, but how they're playing, what they're doing on the field, the pass rush, the coordination with the secondary. They look the part now.
Big kick from Harvin. It sends Renfro back inside his own 10. He tried the stutter step move, and he spilled out at the 18-yard line. That's the leg that they drafted from Presley Harvin III. 58-yard punt. 1972 AFC playoff game. Off of Frenchie Fuqua into the hands of Franco Harris. 13-7 win for the Steelers. 1st and 10. Carr uncorks it to Brian Edwards. So a first down across the 35-yard line. 2 historic franchises. Staples for big moments in NFL history. 6 Super Bowls for the Steelers. 3 for the Raiders.
You know, it's crazy. They have not met in the playoffs since 1984.
Yeah, that is nuts.
I mean, for you and I and our vintage, that doesn't even sound right, does it?
It was such a frequent occurrence. First down, Carr. On target with his toss to Kenyon Drake. So without Josh Jacobs, it's clear the Raiders are just not even looking to run the football. But where it really stood out was out around the 2-yard line where Jacobs would have been the guy inside the red zone. And then a couple of penalties backed them up. They have to settle for a field goal. They didn't even try it down there.
If he's there, there's a minimum of 2 carries for Jacobs, maybe 3. All right? But now, the way John Gruden has adjusted in this game is that's the guy he trusts right there. Number 4, Derek Carr. This game is firmly in his hands, the way John is mixing and matching with the short passing game.
Fake it. Carr steps up, and Carr gets tossed down. Melvin Ingram has his first sack as a Steeler.
And again, the extra coverage on Darren Waller downfield. If Derek Carr had any idea of going there, then he was dissuaded from that. And how about the spin? Spins to the outside. Pass rushers call a red spin. being able to go outside. When they spin inside, they call it a blue. Actually sat in on the Pass Rusher Summit this year. That was a whole lot of fun. And Melvin Ingram, one of those great pass rushers in the league, showing off his skills.
Yeah, he just showed Foster Moreau something he just hasn't seen before. It's a loss of 8 on the play. 3rd down and 9. Carr fires downfield. Hauled in, Hunter Renfrow. 1st down, Raiders.
Hunter Renfrow is so effective at extra moves. Move, move. Now look at him accelerate. Got him just enough to make him stop his feet. Did Trey Norwood, the rookie out of Oklahoma. And then Renfrow accelerates and a beautifully thrown ball by Carr right in the seam.
Originally a walk-on at Clemson, and Hunter Renfrow has become such a consistent target for Derek Carr and the Raiders. Running play, Drake, and runs into a wall in the form of Jameer Jones.
Yeah,
gain of 1.
You mentioned, Renfrow being a walk-on, then he turns into a national hero at Clemson because he catches the national championship touchdown pass from Deshaun Watson when they beat Alabama. Then he gets drafted in the 5th round because people still doubt his skills. Here's the thing, keep in mind as you see the career receptions. He's a much better athlete than he gets credit for. Everyone talks about his brain and his savvy. Guess what? He can run and make plays as well.
Also was a high school baseball star growing up in Myrtle Beach. Carr, connection made. Henry Ruggs. The catch and loop for Ruggs. And the Raiders have it inside the 10.
The question we asked at the half, if they're going to do the double and triple teaming of Darren Waller, who's going to step up and make plays? Well, on this drive, we've seen Hunter Renfrow make a play. Henry Ruggs, who's supposed to just be a speedster, comes across the middle and makes a play. We've seen Brian Edwards make plays in this ball game. These other receivers stepping up in the void of Darren Waller getting all these targets.
And Carr hanging in there in the pocket to deliver it.
Making big-time throws.
1st and goal for Las Vegas. Shotgun. Carr lofts it. Touchdown! Foster Moreau. The Raiders cash in. And they're getting it done through the air.
Derek Carr is down, unfortunately, after a perfectly thrown football. He read the coverage. Could not the guy covering could not see him, had his back to him. Threw it right over his helmet into the arms of Moreau. And that is not a sight for anyone who likes the silver and black.
Medical staff is over there checking on Derek Carr, his teammates surrounding him. John Gruden is now hovering.
Because remember, Marcus Mariota, who would be the backup quarterback, re-injured his quad on Monday night on a 31-yard run. He's on the IR. Nathan Peterman now becomes the next man up if Derek Carr can't go. Can you tell how much respect he has from his teammates? That's not just the offense out there with him right now. There are defensive players out there. But look at this ball thrown. He notices on the coverage, I believe it's Spillane, can't see him, can't see Derek Carr, so he throws it right over his helmet and perfectly into the waiting arms of Moreau, who finishes it off for a touchdown.
Carr took his time.
All right, and he was 5 for 5 on that drive. And that's a great sight right there. Let's hope that he can get back into it.
He's had a whale of a day. 19 of 25, 231 yards, a touchdown. This is after the release. Look down at the bottom of the screen. He got clipped down low, late.
Very late. And I don't know, I have to see it again to see if he was blocked, if the defender was blocked into him. Because it didn't appear like he was taking an all-out shot at him. He might have been blocked and rolled into Derek Carr.
Great to see him get up on his own, walk off on his own. Not jogging, just walking briskly to the Raiders sideline. Extra point for Daniel Carlson. Meanwhile, Las Vegas has taken a 16-7 lead on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Third quarter action continues after this. down on the ground, got up, walked off on his own into the pop-up tent, was in there briefly, now back with his teammates. Kickoff from Carlson to Ray McLeod. Steelers looking for something to get them going, and he's buried at the 17-yard line. Down to Evan.
Well, guys, good sign here with Derek Carr. He spent some time in the injury tent. It's his right foot and ankle. He's got a spat tape job over the cleat there. Obviously was in a ton of pain. No noticeable limp, taking some warm-up throws here on the sideline, giving everyone love, looking like a guy who's getting ready to get back in this game. But an area of concern does appear to be that right foot and ankle.
And Evan, the contact came from Jameer Jones, who was a long shot to make this Steeler team and is in there because of the injury to T.J. Watt and the rotation.
Yeah, having rotate, hot day out here, you get some run. He was out of school and went back to pro day a second time at Notre Dame, and that's where Pittsburgh saw him, brought him to camp, and he ended up running his way onto the squad.
Najee Harris in there, they give it to him. Harris dances a little bit and charges forward to the 21-yard line. What do you need to see out of this Pittsburgh offense to get them in gear?
Well, to get in gear, I think is similar to last week. Remember, at halftime in the Buffalo game, we said they're going to put the ball in the hands of Ben Roethlisberger and ride him. They want to run the football more. They want to get Ben Roethlisberger under center more and get some more downhill runs. But I don't know if this offensive line is up to that yet. They may have to revert back to more of last year's play while they continue to try and work on getting that offensive line going in the running game.
Now Canada's call on 2nd and 6. Claypool has been targeted 5 times, just 1 catch for 2 yards. Roethlisberger hums it in there. Freiermuth flag down.
And it's back there near Ben Roethlisberger, too.
Conversation there with Solomon Thomas and Jerome Boger. It elicited a smile out of
Personal
Boger.
foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 92. 15-yard penalty adds it into the play. First down.
The ball's clearly gone. And Ben Roethlisberger takes that shot at the end of it. I'm sure Derek Carr is like, well, you know, when I threw it, what about mine? And that might be what Solomon Thomas was saying to him.
Another injury, it's Denzel Perriman.
See how they're pushing on the foot? Hopefully that just means cramp. It is a warm day here in Pittsburgh. You know, it doesn't seem overly warm at 80, 81 degrees or whatever. All right, I was down the field in pregame. You stand out there in that sun, it'll hit you. And they're carrying around those pads. Good to see Perriman running.
He is running, but not to the Vegas sideline. He's heading
might
right to the locker room.
Yeah, get a few more electrolytes in him, get him back out here. But what a pickup. You mentioned it earlier in the game. Perriman, K.J. Wright, understanding defense coordinator Gus Bradley's system, bringing that veteran leadership and presence to a locker room that needed it. And it's not just presence they brought confidence on a team that desperately needed it the way the defense got scraped last year.
Carr nodding along the Raiders sideline. He's expected to be in there when Las Vegas comes back on offense.
False start. Offense, number 18. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's Deontay Johnson. Saturday, college football doubleheader on CBS, noon Eastern, Mountain West matchup, Boise State and Utah State. Then at 3:30, SEC on CBS features 7th-ranked Texas A&M clashing with number 16 Arkansas. Full afternoon of college football Saturday on CBS.
Arkansas off to a heck of a start, beating Texas earlier this year. Texas A&M have lost since they lost to Alabama last year.
Roethlisberger slings it to the outside, and there is Claypool. He's upset that he couldn't stay on his feet, but they'll take the first down grab for 16.
See, and that's the next step in the offense for Chase Claypool, being able to catch all the different routes, not just the go routes downfield, not just the big shots. He obviously has that capability, but when he starts adding in catches like that and they can't just play back off of him, he'll really be an effective receiver going downfield.
White.
Rushing numbers, nothing to write home about for either team. Harris has 9 carries, 35 yards. Carr is the leading rusher for the Raiders. Hand it off. Benny Snell gets an opportunity, and he is tossed down by Carl Nassib. And some extracurricular here at the end of the play.
Not a surprise. It's Kendrick Green, the center for Pittsburgh, who plays to the echo of the whistle. He is a very, very emotional type player, and I mean it in a good way for the most part. He wants to finish all blocks, get a second block, and he goes all the way through it. He had Corey Littleton wrapped up and put him on the ground on that last play. And Corey Littleton not pleased at all, said, hey, that play should have been over, man. Get off of me. So Bears watching Kendrick Green trying to get those extra blocks.
We're going to hit the 2-minute mark here in this third quarter. Las Vegas leads at 16-7 over Pittsburgh. Shotgun, pump and throw. Roethlisberger, incomplete. Claypool intended target. Damon Arnett gets a piece of it. And we get an NFL Today up concern right now for the Buffalo Bills, who are rolling against Miami Dolphins, will be in Las Vegas next week.
Ben back in shotgun again, was under center for one play, but operating out of the gun for the most part.
3rd and 10. Roethlisberger, nobody home.
And another one with Deontay Johnson with the hookup. Johnson stops the route, comes back towards him. Ben's throwing it down the sideline like it's a deep fade. And Roethlisberger takes another shot in the pocket.
So this drive stalls for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Roethlisberger telling us last week the trust that Matt Canada showed in the Steelers offense to throw the ball late, even in what might have been a traditional run setup. And that went a long way in infusing this team with some confidence, but we just have not seen the carryover on the offensive side of the ball. 201 yards of offense for Pittsburgh. Harvin places it. Can't do it much better. Raiders will be pinned deep in their own territory after the 42-yard kick for the rookie Presley Harvin III. Carr back on the field when we come back.
On CBS is sponsored by AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, and secure. And by Sonic. This is how we Sonic.
Derek Carr and the Raiders with a 16-7 advantage on the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1:43 to go. Third quarter. Ingold and Drake in the backfield. Carr to throw it. Swing pass. Caught by Drake. Gets the angle. Works the sideline. And he's got a first down for Las Vegas. Signed to a 2-year, $14.5 million deal during the offseason from Arizona.
So instead of trying to run in all that stack, just a little swing pass, one-on-one, you like your odds with Kenyon Drake with Melvin Ingram in the open field. So what would have been a Josh Jacobs run turned into a swing to Kenyon Drake to replace that by John Gruden.
Carr underneath. Henry Ruggs redirects and gets hit by Robert Spillane on the play. 2 yards on the short toss.
That should not have been a 2-yard gain, but give Brian Edwards, number 89, the wide receiver for the Raiders, a lot of credit for staying with his block and allowing Henry Ruggs to bounce off of him and get the 2 yards. That probably should have been a loss because they had it stacked up, but Edwards wouldn't give up on the block.
The Raiders have not started a season 2-0 in back-to-back years since 1984 when they did it 3 straight years. They were 2-0 last year, finished the season at 8-8. Second down and 8. Carr is 21 of 27. Settles in and hits Darren Waller for a first down. Carr is picking apart this Pittsburgh defense. 13 yards from Carr to Waller.
And they're staying out over the ball, and I think that John Gruden and his offensive staff, Greg Olson, offensive coordinator, sense that Pittsburgh might be a little bit tired and going to increase the tempo. Cam Hayward just came off the field, one of the Steelers' pass rushers.
That is 8 straight completions for Derek Carr. And they're not going to get a playoff, not going to force it. And we head to the fourth. The Raiders leading the Steelers 16-7 on CBS. Roethlisberger, give it. Juju Smith-Schuster takes it in. Carr lofts it. Foster Moreau. A week ago, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense gave Josh Allen of the Bills fits. They also had a huge play on special teams. Pittsburgh looking for something to galvanize them. Meanwhile, the Raiders just keep on chugging. Brian Edwards slips through a tackle and has a first down for Las Vegas as Cameron Sutton whiffed initially for the Steelers. Quarterback comparison, it's been Derek Carr's day. Tack on another for Carr. He's up to 275 yards. Roethlisberger 168 yards in the interception.
And they've taken Darren Waller away for the most part. 3 catches, 30 yards, but he has spread it around to 8 different receivers, 7 other guys making plays for him today.
The same number as last week against Baltimore. 8 different receivers had at least 1 catch in that overtime victory. Carr slings it out to Henry Ruggs III.
Pass complete.
Hit by James Pierre. We go to New York. NFL Today update. JB, Coach Cowher.
Bears D.
How about Roquan Smith? 3 in the eyes of Joe Burrow. Takes us 55 yards with the pick 6. The Chicago Bears now lead 17-3 over the Cincinnati Bengals. Pretty good return with it as well.
Back to Ian Eagle.
93.
And the best friend for a young quarterback, an excellent defense.
No doubt.
Fields has been in there with an injury to Dalton. 16-7 here. Vegas in front. That didn't fool Alex Highsmith. Kenyon Drake tried to get around to the outside, and he gets tossed down for a loss of 4.
And that play there, that run call by John Gruden as Mike Tomlin looks at the clock and contemplates what he wants from his defense, that's simply just a placeholder. That's to make sure that they keep their attention a little bit. This game is Derek Carr's to win, throwing the football. They'll show you some window dressing, they'll show you some motion, they'll break guys out in different spots. Bottom line, Carr throwing the ball is where this game's going for the Raiders. Here comes a flat snap again.
Carr. Knocked down. Couldn't get it over big Cameron Hayward. He does that what feels like at least once a game every week.
This Raiders offensive line is held up pretty well overall, but Jermaine Illuminor had no shot on that one. Hayward knows he can't totally get there, but gets his arms up. Great technique, get in the passing lane and affect it that way.
And Carr had completed 10 straight before that incompletion. We mentioned last week, Steelers on special teams blocked a punt that helped turn the game. A.J. Cole punting for the Raiders. Rush coming, they handle it. Ray McLeod over his head. And a touchback out to the 20-yard line. That's where the Steelers will have it. In a hole, though, once again, double digits last week, trying to battle back this week against the Raiders. Stream new episodes Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern, exclusively on Paramount+. Steelers have been held to 201 yards of offense. They trail 16-7, trying to loosen things up on the ground. Harris, good effort, keeps the legs moving, and we'll get a gain of about 4 on the play. Jonathan Abram was not going to let go. What would you like to see from Pittsburgh offensively?
Well, I'd love to see them find a way, if at all possible, to scheme up something big. The hard part is the way the Raiders are playing, they're not showing any tendencies where they can give up something big. Everything's they're keeping everything in front, rallying up and making tackles, and making Pittsburgh go the long way. They need a big chunk play to try and create some momentum.
Ralph.
Longest play of the day was to Deontay Johnson, a 41-yarder down the sideline. Roethlisberger airs it out. Catch made. Chase Claypool. Claypool is down at the 25. 52 yards for the Steelers. Big Ben to Big Chase.
Just what the doctor ordered, and look who he's running against. That's number 20, Damon Arnett. You know who that was earlier in the game? That was Casey Hayward. So the change there for the second-year guy, and Arnett makes a second big mistake. 1, can't play the ball. 2, doesn't tag him down. Just runs right past him.
Ball gets away from Roethlisberger. He's forced to throw it. And it's incomplete. He takes a shot from Max Crosby. That play was doomed from the beginning.
During the week, Max Crosby and Ben Roethlisberger traded nice complimentary words, and you know, hey, we're both products of the MAC conference, and that's where the best players come from. This is going to be like Rod Tidwell and Jerry Maguire. I don't want to be friends anymore. Okay, Ben's like, enough of you hitting me this entire game. But that play by Claypool, Arnett, the second-year corner out of Ohio State, he doesn't get a play on the ball, but the second part is doesn't understand. This isn't college. You got to tag the guy down. Claypool got up and got additional yardage.
Timeout, Pittsburgh. Their first 30-second timeout.
Play clock was winding down, and Big Ben did take a shot around the head. I think took exception to that as well. Grab your gear because CBS just solved Mondays. First, NCIS returns on a new night with an answer to last season's explosive cliffhanger. Then, Say Aloha, the world's most successful television series, continues on the seductive shores of Hawaii. Vanessa Lachey stars in NCIS Hawaii. New series tomorrow on CBS.
Well, I know if you're giving me a choice of assignment, NCIS Hawaii, I'm in.
You want me to look into it? See if I can get you a gig?
Can you pull a string or two? Can you help a brother out? But
I can. I know some people.
I appreciate that. But how about the big play that the Steelers got? Despite the fact the way the Raiders were playing, that shouldn't have happened. They took advantage of the young corner, Arnett, who'd come in and made a nice play earlier in the game, but they got him there. Can they get another one? Because they need to ring the bell here. Field goals? That's not even a thought process for Pittsburgh.
Second down and 10. Roethlisberger floats it upstairs, incomplete. Two Raider defenders in the vicinity. Deontay Johnson, the intended target, with a combination of Mullen and Merrick back there for Vegas.
See, and that's where the rookie out of TCU, Merrick, really comes into play. He is going to be a roving free safety because this defense is being remade in the image of what Seattle did with all their great success. Gus Bradley was a coordinator there. A free safety to erase anything that happens in front with the people underneath him trying to make plays on the ball.
Merrick, Jim Thorpe Award winner, top defensive back in the nation in 2020 out of TCU. Critical third down and 10. Roethlisberger hits this man, and it's Najee Harris diving. Harris is in. Touchdown. A catch and run. First NFL touchdown for Najee Harris.
See, right here is why he was such an appealing back for so many teams and why he was perfect for Pittsburgh. It's because of his ability to catch the football out of the backfield, shake off the attempted tackle by Levitt, and carry it on into the end zone. 57 touchdowns in his career at Alabama, all-time touchdown scorer for the Crimson Tide. And what a play there. Pittsburgh had to have it. Field goal wasn't even a thought, I believed.
Flags down at the end of the play, back where Ben Roethlisberger and the offensive line were. And it was Trey Turner taking exception to something from the Raiders side. And then Okorafor came in to help out his line mate.
Trey Turner, five-time Pro Bowler in Carolina, and his number one aspect to his game, firing off and putting people on their back. Very strong physical player, and he's helping set a new tone with this young offensive line for Pittsburgh, trying to bring them along.
There are two fouls on the play, one by EC. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Las Vegas, number 92. Unsportsmanlike conduct, Pittsburgh, number 58. Number 51. The 51 is disqualified. The fouls are all set. Third down.
Wow, that's huge. Because if you want to run the football, he's one of the number one guys you run behind for Pittsburgh, is Trey Turner. Him going out of the game now.
Correction. The fouls all set on the try. Number 51 is disqualified.
So now you've got to change up. Is that B.J. Finney going in? Because Rashad Coward is down this game. He's not active. So I'd say Finney goes in or Joe Haig. Hassenauer is also eligible, but he's mainly a center.
Trey Turner has been ejected from the game, and he's looking for an explanation from Jerome Boger. And Mike Tomlin steps in trying to get some context.
They need a few more guys step in because you don't want to lose him for more than today.
Trey Turner is an 8-year veteran.
If I'm Pittsburgh, if I'm the Steelers, I'm getting a bunch of people around him, getting him away, because you do not want him going for more than just today's game. If he stays in there, there could be more penalties coming from the league office.
So touchdown is on the board. This will be an extra point for Chris Boswell. And Pittsburgh has a chance to cut this to 2.
John Gruden and Derek Carr already going over what they want to do on offense. Understanding the momentum shifting a little bit, Pittsburgh's score. They've got to find a way to quell it when they get the ball.
This has been an extended conversation between Tomlin and Jerome Boger.
So both of our coaches today have asked for explanations for things that they have not quite agreed with what they've seen. And I'm sure Mike Tomlin's saying, why is my guy gone and theirs is not if you had offsetting penalties?
Yeah, that's
going to be the biggest question he's got. If they're offsetting, they both did something. So why is my guy gone and his is not?
Yeah, and that's the theme of that conversation. Meanwhile, John Gruden saying, hey, let's go.
And
it's over. Time to continue the game.
And Jerome Boger, I'm sure, is giving them an explanation about what happened. I didn't see a punch. Was it something else that happened in there? You know, was it language? Was it something that went? That's what the league will. That's what the league will find out from the official.
It did look like they had contained it.
Yeah.
And then there was
came back.
Right. The second move by Turner. Extra point is right down the middle for Chris Boswell. Got a tight one in the Steel City. 16-14. Raiders lead it. Steeler fans getting charged up with Renegade here in the fourth quarter. 1979 hit from Styx.
Hoping it carries over to their defense on this possession.
Kickoff from Boswell. It's a touchback. This is what happened with Trey Turner.
Yeah, and I'm sure many saw it, but I didn't quite catch it the first time. All right, there's the argument. They've got to get him away, and then when he goes in, watch his head.
Yep.
He spit on the opponent. Our teammate Evan Washburn alerted us that that was a possibility, and that's why we're back showing you again. That's why he's gone, and if that's what he did, he should be gone.
It's pretty cut and dry.
Yeah.
Or wet.
I caught it. I heard it.
Yeah.
As I was in the middle of something else.
Just let it fly by.
You buckled me.
16-14 Vegas. Still a lot of time left. 11:15 on the clock. Raiders will go empty here with 3 tight ends in this formation. Shotgun for Carr. Rifles it underneath and hits Derek Carrier for his second catch of the afternoon.
You know,
covers about 3.5 yards.
As we watch Derek Carr operate in this ball game, I'm reminded of something he told us when we met with him, and it was simply this. Everybody wants me to throw the ball to certain guys for their fantasy points. I'm going to put the ball where it's supposed to go. I'm going to make the right decisions about who's open and put the ball on them. And with Darren Waller being taken a bit out of this game, he's done that this entire afternoon. Found the right person and given them the football.
3 catches, 30 yards for Waller, 6 targets for the Pro Bowl tight end. Carr, he's playing with so much confidence right now. He lays it out there for Waller. We asked Darren, when you look in the mirror, what do you see? You see a tight end, you see a wide receiver. He said, I just see a football player.
Yep, because I'm asked to do everything. You know, I'm asked to run routes. I'm asked to run routes from the tight end position, from the split end position, from the wide receiver position, from the slot. They can even put him in the backfield if they want to, and he's supposed to block. Okay, John Gruden told us himself, he said, you know, I probably asked him to keep doing more and more and more. Maybe too much.
Carr on the precipice of 300 yards. Incomplete. Not on the same page with Renfro. He was backpedaling. There was a zig on one side, a zag on the other.
And that one felt like Derek Carr had something perfectly in mind and thought Hunter Renfro was right there with him. He pointed as the ball left his hand, and then he slapped his hands in frustration because Renfro was downfield instead of back in that flat area where he threw the football.
Zay Jones now on the field. He had the touchdown catch to win it against Baltimore on Monday night.
Timeout, Las Vegas. 30 seconds. Timeout.
Play clock was
Yeah, it was down
getting down to that 6-second area, and they had nothing going as they broke the huddle.
And they understand how important this drive is after Pittsburgh's touchdown. The idea of getting it downfield, sticking another in the end zone, and taking some clock out of it. They didn't want to go up there and run another play that wasn't going to be effective. And all game long, we've talked about it, Ian. Running game, it's just simply, you know, window dressing. It's just something to keep them, you know, somewhat occupied. But later on, no. I mean, look at this. Look at the running comparison for these two today. If Josh Jacobs is here and healthy, those are not the numbers we see in the running game.
Well, neither team has run the football that effectively. 14 running plays for Pittsburgh, 16 for Las Vegas. Carr has thrown the ball 34 times. Roethlisberger has put it up 29 times. Drake in the backfield on 2nd and 10. Carr pats the ball and throws it offline to Henry Ruggs III. Incomplete. Fifth target of the day for Ruggs. T.J. Watt, groin injury suffered late stages second quarter. Done for the day. Tyson Alualu, an ankle injury early. Out for the rest of the afternoon.
Darren Waller has scared them so badly. There hasn't been that much blitzing from Pittsburgh. Ordinarily, this is a time they would heat up Derek Carr and go get him. They've been counting on 4 guys to try and get him down in the backfield.
3rd down and 10. Airing it out. Carr. It is caught. Henry Ruggs is gone. Touchdown, Raiders. Sprinter speed. Just throw it up there if you're Derek Carr and let Ruggs go and get it. 61 yards.
So Darren Waller affects it because Freeze right here. They had the safety looking at him, and he ends up coming over late, being Minkah Fitzpatrick. He's on Waller. And they actually brought a 5th pass rusher, and now Ruggs, who can run past anyone, does exactly that. Perfectly thrown ball, and Ruggs finishes it off. Look at him. That's right between the 1 and the 1. Beautiful, beautiful play.
The blitz pickup by the Raiders, protecting Carr. Some pressure coming did not affect Carr, and John Gruden dials it up. Yeah, that's a celebration. And
that won the day for him. Mark Davis, remember Cliff Branch, one of his closest friends, just lost him. This would appeal to him with Henry Ruggs. That's why he wanted him so badly.
Kickoff from Carlson. Steelers will have it at the 25, but now down 23-14. Let's check out CD's Chuck Talk.
Let's see how it happened. All right, here's Ruggs, right? And watch what happens here, because Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to be checking out Darren Waller over here. And when he checks him out, Carr holds him with a look to the left and then comes back right. And because he held him just long enough, Ruggs could run by him. Trey Norwood, the nickelback, came as a fifth pass rusher. Opened up a lane as well. And Derek Carr with a tremendous read and an even better throw.
Najee Harris sets up as a receiver in the slot, so they go with a 5-receiver look. Toss it underneath, Deontay Johnson. Oh, he's got moves. Sneaking towards the sideline, out of bounds, but picks up a modest gain on 1st down, matched up with the linebacker Corey Littleton.
Yeah, and with the score being what it is and how Pittsburgh's had to grind during this game, they're going to move it along pretty quickly.
Roethlisberger off the hands, too hot to handle for James Washington. Not sure if they were on the same page.
But James is working back in towards Ben Roethlisberger, and the ball's thrown a little bit to the outside. I think Ben was trying to get him there to turn him towards the sideline, and the ball goes through his hands.
Roethlisberger is now 20 of 31, 249 yards, touchdown, and a pick.
Black Canada! Black Canada! Hey, 52!
3rd down and 6.
Blue 20! Blue 20!
Roethlisberger hooks a pass underneath. Freiermuth battling. Could not get to the line. He's going to come up just short. And what do you do here with 9 minutes to play? Combination of Levitt and Mullen bring down the big tight end Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, as hot as Derek Carr is, I would have thought about going for it here, because I just think that you don't have many possessions left. Clock ticking against you. 4th and very short. You can give the ball back to a quarterback and just throw a 61-yard touchdown pass, and an offense playing with extreme confidence.
Talking about 4th and less than a yard. Harvin the punt. Renfro returning. He's got some room at the 9. Renfro finds a crack and tosses down at the 25-yard line after a 15-yard return. Jameer Jones, the tackle. Coming up, game 2 of our NFL on CBS doubleheader. We're expecting a lot of points. 2 of the best offenses in the league. Dak Prescott leads the Cowboys out west. A showdown with Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Coming up here on CBS.
Those are 2 big ball games too, aren't they?
Titans and the Seahawks as well.
Oh, look, the Titans coming in with big expectations. Dallas thinks they can win the East. Both could be 0-2 at the end of these ball games. Those are big games for those squads.
Kill!
They mark down Renfro at the 24-yard line. 55th offensive play of the day for the Raiders. Slipping through is Peyton Barber. By far the best run he's had today. And it's 11 yards and a first down.
And that's over their rebuilt offensive line on the right side. Jermaine Illuminor, number 72. They just signed September 2nd. And then Brandon Parker, who's come in for Alex Leatherwood at right tackle, number 75. Look at the space they created and the hole that they carved over there. So John Simpson, 76, get involved as well, who really remade himself in the offseason after a rough rookie year.
Longest run of the day for Las Vegas. 11 yards. Brandon Parker playing that right tackle spot for the injured Leatherwood, now in his 3rd year. Nice move by Drake. Tackled at the 40-yard line by Terrell Edmonds. 5-yard gain for Vegas.
And this is very interesting to me because we just showed not long ago a graphic about the running game and the lack thereof. But by rights, you shouldn't be able to pound it now. You haven't been able to run it all game. But I think you've got a tired Pittsburgh front and a rejuvenated offensive line for the Raiders coming off of a score. This has been beyond, I think, John Gruden's wildest dreams to be able to get back-to-back runs like that and take time off of the clock.
Hey, kill!
357 passing yards for Derek Carr. 2nd and 5, stick with it. And Barber is stacked up as he crosses the 40-yard line. 2-yard gain for the 6-year veteran Peyton Barber. Joe Schobert in there defensively for Pittsburgh.
See, this is where the injury to Tyson Alualu in the first quarter really hurts, who holds down the middle of the defensive front. And look at these numbers for Derek Carr. Pretty darn consistent, but I would say more spectacular in the second half.
Carlos Davis is also out with a knee injury. Might have been part of that rotation up the middle. First down here on 3rd and 3, and they can probably bring the clock to under 4 minutes. But they're not going to get close. Peyton Barber couldn't string it out to the outside, and Barber gets shellacked.
Absolutely overwhelmed the offensive line, too. Look at Wormley, 95, getting in there. Look at Cameron Hayward. With one arm, takes John Simpson and punches him back into the backfield. And what a big stop for the Pittsburgh Steelers, one they had to have.
So timeout called, 6:05 to play. Steelers have 1 timeout remaining. They trail Las Vegas 23-14. 4th and short, Pittsburgh decides to punt it. Raiders got the 1 first down, that was it. But it did force Pittsburgh to use a timeout.
And a good number of frontline guys on special teams for the Raiders. Ingold, 45 in there, 24, Abram.
Punt from Cole, Ray McLeod catches cleanly. Now looping, he's got some room if he can get the angle. Cut up field, McLeod crosses the 30-yard line. 45-yard kick, 16-yard return. hit by Derek Carrier on special teams.
Good move by McLeod on the initial. You know, quarterbacks talk about sometimes being in the pocket and operating like a punt returner, making people miss in the pocket so they can get upfield and move a little bit and throw the football. That was a true punt return there by McLeod, making people miss initially.
B.J. Finney is in at that right guard position with the ejection of Trey Turner.
Number 67.
Shotgun, Roethlisberger fires it. It's Freiermuth. Across the 40-yard line, short of a first down. Nate Hobbs in on the hit. 9-yard gain through the air.
Ben Roethlisberger hanging in there. He's done it for 18 years, but he's taken some pretty big hits in the pocket today. Good pressure by the Raiders. But watch how they play this. They're going to try and keep everything in front, rally up and tackle.
2nd and 1. Flip it. Harris. First down, Pittsburgh. 5-yard completion. Clock is moving. We're down to 5:13 and counting left in the fourth.
Remember, Pittsburgh had a big play with Claypool. They're going to need something else like that, the way the clock is going. Raiders content to let them have short plays and try and bleed the clock down.
Roethlisberger. Short pass. Nice move by Harris. Handles the initial contact, falls forward at the 50 for 4. Perriman and Levitt collaborate on the tackle.
Ray.
Steelers operating quickly here. 2nd and 6. Swing it. Deontay Johnson. Stiff arm out of bounds in Raiders territory. 12 yards on the catch.
Good gains. But this guy right here in the back, Trevon Merrick, he's going to be the eraser. So if anything happens downfield, he's supposed to be able to go sideline to sideline to make a play. Everyone else, keep it in front, rally up, make a tackle. He's the guy back deep to clean up anything that gets passed.
Roethlisberger flings it and hits Harris. The catch and curl by Harris. Roethlisberger avoids the sack, and they get it back to the line of scrimmage on the catch by the rookie Najee Harris.
I mean, the strength. Look, Chuck Okorafor got run over by Max Crosby, and that forced Roethlisberger to have to clutch again, and still had enough to get it out to Najee Harris.
Raiders have had 2 sacks this afternoon. Roethlisberger steps up. And this time couldn't get enough on it. Flag thrown. Juju Smith-Schuster. 2 defenders in the area. The Raiders claiming that ball was tipped on release.
And that's a great observation right there, because that's what I thought. And Abram thought he had a chance to make the pick 6 going the other way and got tangled up, got there just a tad early. But I thought the ball was tipped.
So the officials huddling up.
There is no foul on the play. The pass was tipped by the defense.
Solomon Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas has had a major impact here defensively for the Raiders today.
We talked about a new chapter here with the Las Vegas Raiders. He's really on a good path starting today.
For the Las Vegas player.
And Casey Hayward Jr. has had some issues today, was forced out at one point, and now on his back.
Taking in the liquid, they're pointing the toe up, which is the universal sign of cramp.
Hayward signed 1 year, $2.5 million deal, formerly with Green Bay and the Chargers, Pro Bowler in 2016 and 2017. Now, you mentioned led the league in interceptions. That was back in 2016 when he had 7. So Damon Arnett would step in to replace him.
Arnett was the guy they got the big play against earlier with Claypool. He's also made a couple nice tackles in the open field. The first-round draft pick out of Ohio State last year, fully healthy now. Starting to make a few more strides in the secondary.
Now, this is reversed for Pittsburgh, because last week it was Buffalo that was trying to utilize the clock and be smart with their decisions. They needed a touchdown and a field goal They elected to kick a field goal, then try to get the football back. Pittsburgh were getting into that territory here on 3rd and 10. They have to get at least 3 to stay in this game and remain alive. 3:52 to go. Roethlisberger. Jarred loose. Claypool. He got hammered. Levitt and Mullen there defensively, and Levitt needs to take a moment.
Is it possible to be hammer and nail at the same time? Because that's what Dallin Levitt is. Here comes the hammer part. Excellent play. Look at his shoulder and takes it into him. But he's the one who ends up taking the brunt of it. But a nice pass breakup by Levitt coming inside, trying to keep the head out of going into head-to-head contact and going up high. Stayed below the shoulder area, right in the strike zone, and broke up the pass.
Now the concern right now for Dallin Levitt, 4th-year safety from Utah State, has been a member of the Raiders practice squad through the years as well. Now we'll step aside and come right back to Pittsburgh. Sitting up with the athletic training staff out there. They're going to help him to his feet. Derek Carr came over to check on him. It was a serious collision.
Slow as it goes. Big time play, and they'll take him right in right now.
And it forces the Steelers into a decision here with 3:47 left. They trail 23-14.
Field goal.
You're looking at a 56-yard attempt. Levitt on his way to the locker room. The pass breakup. As it appeared, Chase Claypool had hauled it in, but bang, bang play on the hit by Levitt. So here's the first part of the equation for Pittsburgh. Kuntz will snap it. Harvin will hold it. 56-yarder. Boswell. Straight through. That is the longest field goal ever at Heinz Field. 56-yarder for Chris Boswell.
You mentioned earlier, this is not a stadium known as being quote-unquote a kicker's park, right? A kicker's stadium. But on a day like this, it certainly was for Boswell.
Just enough.
Wow. And that keeps the Steelers hope. That gives them hope, keeps them in it. Back on the defense. Longest in stadium history. You mentioned earlier, Ian, he had a 59-yarder in Dallas last year. Chris Boswell, long distance, he's dialing them up.
And it very much keeps hope alive here for Pittsburgh, now trailing 23-17. Boswell will kick it off.
You're the Raiders, you play for the onside and let him kick it over your head. What you're worried about is if he pops it over Henry Ruggs' head and it stays in the field of play. Then you gotta go make sure you get on it. But Ruggs is up near the 20-yard line. They got the hands team out there for the Raiders.
Steelers have 1 timeout remaining and the 2-minute warning. And Boswell's gonna pooch this one. Returnable for Ruggs at the 5. Ruggs hit from behind. They tried to jar the ball loose with Spillane. And the Raiders will have it with 3:37 to go. Close games through the years? Oh, you betcha. 2009, Bruce Gradkowski, Pittsburgh native, touchdown to Louis Murphy. Janikowski, a 43-yarder in 2012 to win it. Chris Boswell had the game winner in 2015. Boswell had a chance to tie it in 2018, but the slip, they can't attempt the kick. 5 of the last 6 meetings have been decided by exactly 3 points, including 4 straight matchups.
Well, they ran the ball well in the last series. Let's see what John Gruden wants to do here.
They run it to Barber. Carries to the 30-yard line for 3, brought down by Cameron Hayward. The home team has had the upper hand in each of the last 4 meetings. Raiders, quick turnaround, that emotional win Monday night at home against the Baltimore Ravens. Steelers came from behind to beat the Bills last week.
Both had injuries mount on them. The Raiders early in the week, Steelers late in the week. But with Carr here, I don't think John Gruden would be shy about letting him throw the football if he thinks that will work best here. I don't think he's just going to hand off totally.
We're under 3 minutes to go. Carr in the air. He's got Darren Waller. First down into Pittsburgh territory. Joe Schobert got turned around, and they take advantage to the tune of 25 yards.
And they got it to the outer portion of the field, which made it tougher for Minkah Fitzpatrick, the free safety, to get involved. Beautiful play call and design by John Gruden, Greg Olson, offensive coordinator, and an even better execution by Darren Waller, Derek Carr on the offensive line, giving him time. But you notice how they threw it to the outer margins, Ian, to keep that free safety from getting over there and getting involved, and went right over the linebacker, Schobert.
Monster numbers once again for Derek Carr. Handoff. Barber's got a running lane. And a first down. Out near the 30-yard line. Good block from Simpson. And it springs Barber loose for 13. We hit the 2-minute warning. Raiders are trying to put... Pittsburgh has 1 timeout remaining. We have 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Already in field goal range for Daniel Carlson. And Peyton Barber stepping in for the injured Josh Jacobs. Inactive today with toe trouble and an ankle injury. Carries the ball for 3. Timeout called after the hit by Cameron Hayward. So we're down to 1:56 to play. Pittsburgh is out of timeouts. .281 yards in the second half for the Raiders. Derek Carr has thrown for 382 overall, 2 touchdowns. Ben Roethlisberger, 284, a touchdown and an INT.
And as impressive as those numbers are, we're noticing their offensive numbers. This Raiders team on defense today, they've been pretty darn spectacular in a lot of ways. I mean, the way they've kept them in front, pressure on Ben Roethlisberger, not cracking after some big plays. I give him a lot of credit.
2 tight ends in this formation. Another running play. Barber catapults himself. Joe Schobert hits him down low. And we're down to 1:43 and counting left in regulation.
3rd down and 6.
3rd down and 6 here for the Raiders. They'll use as much clock as possible. Barber has carried it 12 times, 31 yards. Kenyon Drake 7 carries for 9 yards. Drake also has 5 catches for 46 yards. Another handoff. That play is whistled dead, short of the 25.
And it goes to Barber.
So that's a 1-yard pickup for Barber. Derek Carr, 817 passing yards, first 2 games to start the season. The most by a Raiders QB in a 2-game span.
So next week when he returns home to Las Vegas, if they do close this one out, when he's introduced, has he met with MVP chance in week 3?
You like those early MVP chances?
No, but you know, I just know the world. I mean, I know how it works, right?
Yeah, he might hear that.
We were in Buffalo last week, and when Josh Allen ran out, it was MVP.
They hadn't even started the first quarter of the first inning.
That's second. 30-second timeout.
All right, timeout call with 24 seconds left. Stay tuned. NFL Today update, time permitting. JB, Phil, Nate Boomer, Coach Cowher, latest NFL scores and highlights coming up. NFL Today update. Obviously, if you're Pittsburgh, you're just hoping for a miss here, and you get the football back with 20 seconds left. A make, and this thing is basically done. TJ Watt forced out of this game with a groin injury. Both teams dealing with a bunch of injuries. Some already determined prior to the game, and then some that took place this afternoon here in Pittsburgh. This is a 45-yard attempt. Carlson has already made 3 today for Las Vegas. Carlson puts it through. Las Vegas with a 26-17 lead in Pittsburgh. 20 seconds remaining. Jon Gruden, a smile. Derek Carr congratulating his offensive line. And Derek Carr has put together another highlight reel performance. For a moment there, we thought Carr might be done for the day, but they taped up that right foot. Started accelerating onto the field for the next set of downs and delivered on that bomb to Henry Ruggs III.
You know what I just thought of?
What's that?
Asked Jon Gruden one time about Henry Ruggs drafting him and what have you, and, you know, him learning route tree and all the other stuff. And Jon said, I didn't bring him here to run hitches.
He's a flyer.
He's like, look, he's looking at me like, what's wrong with you?
20 seconds left. Derek Carr, 382 yards. We asked Jon Gruden about Carr. He said, look, I give him a lot of credit. Whoever we put out there with him, he makes it work. He doesn't blink. I've told him, don't worry about the outside stuff, quarterback rankings, any of that. He said, you're our guy. You're a winner. Let's go win games.
And Derek Carr has taken his team to the playoffs once, but was unable to participate due to injury. He wants to take his team back to the playoffs and be the starting quarterback.
Meanwhile, for Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers, still a work in progress on offense. Had just enough last week against Buffalo. Got a lot of help from the defense and special teams. Today, the defense couldn't quite hold up against this Raiders O. And Roethlisberger, who came into the day 3 touchdowns away from 400 for his career, has won as he connected with Najee Harris for the score. But his team is down 9 points on the scoreboard with a matchup against the Cincinnati Bengals next week here at Heinz Field.
Hey, heavy time. No. Heavy time. Let him.
Raiders safeties drift backwards. Toss it underneath Deontay Johnson. Johnson trying to get out of bounds. He's ridden out of bounds. And the clock will continue to roll. He never quite got there, and Johnson is grabbing at his right leg on the play. And the clock finally stops with 5 seconds left. This happened along the Raiders sideline.
Remember, he hurt his knee last week in Buffalo and was able to come back and play and caught the game-winning touchdown pass.
Pittsburgh player under 2 minutes with the clock running. Therefore, a 10-second runoff is applicable. They're on the 5 seconds of the game. The game is over.
That's it. The Raiders with an impressive start to the season. A Monday night win over Baltimore, and then they hit the road to defeat the Pittsburgh Steelers 26-17. The Raiders are 2-0 to open the season. Coming up next, second half of our doubleheader.